About a month ago, I started an experiment and I've learned a lot from it. And I want to share kind of what I was doing and what I've learned. And if you are interested in selling ebooks, website design, Facebook ads, or anything like that, that's what we're going to be talking about. If you are just getting started, there's a lot to learn. And if you know a lot about each of those topics or any of them, you're going to have a lot to laugh at with me, so let's get into it. So the book that I'm selling is called Show Business. I've traveled the world as a performer for 20 something years, and I learned a lot about the psychology of how I do what I do on stage as a mentalist, which is a kind of magician that specializes in mind reading tricks. I'm not psychic, it's just really good communication skills. Well, it turns out that all of that psychology is really valuable to companies for their branding, positioning, marketing, sales, all that stuff. So that's kind of how I got into the corporate consulting side of things. So this isn't a commercial for the book. You need to understand this to appreciate how badly I messed up, which is it's called show business, right? Because show people are usually really bad at the business side. Like I can't get paid $50 for a birthday party. Like, okay, you should look into running a business. And then the business people of the world are usually really bad at the show part of the communication, presenting stuff in a engaging, persuasive kind of way. They believe, well, the work speaks for itself and I can't be too self-aggrandizing, and all those beliefs that hold them back from promoting what it is that they do. Well, I was taking all this show stuff and presenting it to the business world. The second book I thought would be show business for show people to be better at business. So this is mainly for business people to appreciate here's how to promote your stuff. Well, unfortunately, I made this look like it's for showbiz people, how to promote, sell, and perform your way from invisible expert to profitable authority. Well, everybody's taking perform literally, so a lot of performers are getting this book, and to the performing world, every performer figures this out by the time that they ever get paid a single dollar for performing. They get that I need to fill the stage. I need to be comfortable with people looking at me. I need to stand up straight and deliver with power and conviction. Like all the stuff that business people think they can ignore, that's what's in this book. So, lesson learned is that I was too cute about calling it show business so that only show business people would buy it and then think, I already know all this stuff. But to the business people who buy it, they're going, oh my God, this is fantastic. I love it. And it's doing exactly what it should be doing, but it's kind of messing up the flow, which we'll get into now. Okay, so you have the PDF. How are you going to get it to people? Well, let's run some Facebook ads. To me, that was a great way to beta test the idea, get it out in front of people as quickly as possible. So I went to Claude Code, which I run locally. I have actually a whole channel about how that works and all that kind of fun stuff. But I asked it, okay, here's who I'm going after, here's what they care about, let's generate a whole bunch of ads, we'll throw them all at the wall, see what sticks, and then run with it. And that actually worked really well. So I set up 10 different ads, each from a different angle, and one worked like gangbuster. And it was basically somebody else that's not you, that's less talented than you, is getting everything that you hoped you could. And that kind of righteous indignation or envy angle seemed to really, really resonate with people. So that's the ad that worked really well. But since I was using the language of show business in all the ads and everything, well, Facebook's AI thought, oh, this is for performers. So I start getting a whole bunch of people who are performers buying the book, which is reinforcing that, oh yeah, these are the people who should see it. So the ads were hyper fixating on the people that I didn't want buying the book. So it was narrowing into the wrong demographic, even though I was like, only business owners, CEOs, founders. Well, in an effort to look more legit, a lot of performers would be like, I'm the founder of My Performing. I'm like, yeah, I did that too, right? So that's how I know that's what they were doing. So it made it difficult for me to be selling the book to the people that I wanted to connect with. It was more performers who aren't really my niche. I've worked with BP, State Farm, United Airlines, like businessy businesses, and I want more of those. So they were coming along for the ride, but it was like a 10 to 3 split. For every 10 performers that would buy this thing, 3 people from a business address, like email, would work. And now that I mentioned email, yeah, so the ads get people to the website, and then they can buy it and then deliver it by email. But there's a big problem there. Let's get into that. Okay, so if you've ever decided to sell something, you might have gone through this. But did you know that when you run your own email, I'm not talking through Gmail or anything like that, but when I was selling the PDF, I wanted it to be through my own website. I'm like, yeah, I want to own the whole stack. So I'm just using my website, which is run on WordPress. And the host I use is DreamHost. So I set up the email address through DreamHost and doing the IMAP and SMTP and all that stuff I did myself. Well, I set up WooCommerce on WordPress because, again, I wanted to own the whole stack. Well, did you know that for some reason there's a difference between marketing emails, personal emails, and transactional emails? So when you sell something, and WooCommerce is supposed to email somebody the link to download it and to confirm, hey, you really did buy the thing, here you go. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't send it. You have to set up transactional email. So what was happening was people would buy the PDF, and also there's a setting. Well, what happens when they buy the PDF? Do you want it to automatically download, or do you want it to open up in the browser so that they can really just start reading? Well, in my mind, I was thinking, well, you know what? I want them to own it as quickly as possible. And plus, some folks are technologically challenged, so let's just automatically download it so that they don't even have to worry about it. I'll take care of that for them. Here's what happened. People would buy the PDF, it would auto-download, but they wouldn't know that it auto-downloaded because they're tech challenged. So then they would own it already, and then they would email me that they didn't get it. And then I would look at my records and see that it has been downloaded 3-4 times already. And I was like, what is going on? So I changed the auto download to open it in a tab to solve that issue, which, okay, cool. That's fun. But then I started getting emails from people saying, hey, I bought it, I was looking at it, I went to go do something else, closed my phone out, and now I can't find it again. Well, they should have the email from me. Here's your download link. So I start looking into that. Like, oh, I need to set up transactional emails. Okay, let's go. So I look into it. Here's what I found out. I was using an email system developed by WordPress, or at least bought by WordPress, designed specifically to work with WordPress and WooCommerce, called MailPoet. But MailPoet absolutely requires double opt-in, which is that when somebody signs up to get your emails, they have to then go to their inbox to click the button that says, yes, absolutely, I want to hear from you. In my mind, and in most email systems, if somebody trusts you enough to give you the $7 for the PDF, okay, they want to get your emails, especially the one that emails them the link for them to download the thing they're buying from you. But here's what was happening. MailPoet was not getting that double opt-in, so it was signing people up to my email list as unsubscribed, not just unconfirmed, they haven't clicked yet, but it was auto-enrolling people on my email list as unsubscribed for everybody that bought the PDF, so that nobody could get the email even if MailPoet wanted to send it, which it didn't because it didn't have the double opt-in. Absolutely insane. Just why that works that way drove me absolutely nuts. I was so mad that for a week or two I'd been selling this thing and the whole system was missing most of its moving parts. The moving parts weren't moving. In fact, they didn't even exist. So I had to figure something out. So here's what I figured out. I was like, all right, if MailPoet isn't going to send emails, then I'm going to have to get a new email provider. So I have had MailPoet for years and then figured out, all right, what are my options here? And I eventually went with ConvertKit, which that's how I found out about it years ago. And then by the time I checked back in a couple weeks ago, it had now rebranded to just kit.com. Like, all right, cool. More difficult to find it when you Google it, but you can find it. Turns out it's awesome. It's fantastic. There's a whole bunch of features I don't need, nor do I want, but its integration with e-commerce is fantastic. Now, when somebody buys the PDF, oh yeah, I solved the transactional email part with Postmark. That's a whole other side of it. So I set that up, and WooCommerce will email people from my domain. Here's your download link. That's cool. At the same time, it will sign people up for my email list through Kit. Now, here's what's really cool is you can set up a tag for every person who buys a particular product. You can tag them as buyer of particular product and have a particular tag for every product that you sell. Then what's really cool is that you can build out welcome sequences for each product that you're selling. So now here's everything I built out, which is basically a welcome aboard sequence for people that buy the book. But as we've talked about already, I've got two kinds of people that are buying the book: performers, business people. So in one of the early emails that I'm sending, I'm asking, there are kind of two worlds that I walk in. Are you a performer looking to get more gigs, or are you a business person trying to scale your business through better marketing, positioning, and communication? Now, if they click performer, then gets tagged with performer tag, which triggers the performer welcome sequence. So the welcome aboard starts the same for both. Hey, congratulations, thank you for buying the book, awesome job. Are you a performer? Then go this way. Are you a business owner? Then go this way. Do you do nothing? Then you go to the third one, which is the same flow as business people, because that's the main reason why I wrote the book in the first place. The performers get kind of a bonus. Hey, welcome behind the screen. You're not going to learn all that much. You're going to see how I've done a lot of stuff. You're going to recognize it. It's just from a different angle. Plus, if you want the performer focused goods, then come to my group and let me know that you're a performer. I'll add you to some performer specific resources that I've built out for some of my friends and that kind of thing. Really cool logic flows that you can build out in your welcome aboard sequence, and it's fantastic, which is wonderful. Now the system's working exactly how I wanted it to work, and it's doing everything that I wanted to do. But there's a second element of all this stuff that I've got to talk about. Let's get to it. Well, it turns out I don't just have the PDF business. I do a couple different things. One of them is that I run the Mind Reading Show. I own themindreadingshow.com. I own icanreadminds.com. That's my hub. But it turns out that MailPoet, I needed to have multiple licenses for my personal consulting portfolio stuff, like people hire me to teach them my skills. And then I've got the mindreadingshow.com, which is a theater show that people buy tickets to and then come out to the show. It's once a month and it's in Asheville, North Carolina, going to other cities soon, that kind of thing. But that's a whole other different business. So I needed to, through MailPoet, the old email, have my Jonathan list and then my Mind Reading Show list as separate things. And I wanted them separate because, well, I don't want to send here's a negotiation skills workshop I'm running to people that just wanted a fun date night out. MailPoet, those are separate lists. But you got to pay for each list, that kind of thing. Well, turns out that Kit, it's awesome. Well, I exported the Mind Reading Show email list of people who are on the early access list and VIP, and I'll email them that, hey, tickets are available before the general public, so go ahead and grab them, and then it sells out oftentimes before tickets are even open to the public, which is kind of fun. So I export all of them and put them into my one master list. So now I've got all my businesses and reasons why people would sign up for my email lists tagged and segmented out. So now it's all in one place. I don't have different silos where I have to remember to log in over here for this and then log in over there for that. It's all in one place. I can do all my consulting and coaching stuff, my professional work, and the showbiz stuff over here, but it's all in one place. So now I've got a unified list, and then if something makes sense for both segments, I can just email both segments if I want to. Don't really do that, but it's really cool to have it unified now, and I'm not fighting silo challenges and email challenges. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk to you about. So let's wrap it up over here. So this is where we stand. The ads are running, people are going to the website, they're able to buy the thing, they get the email that shows up, they get the email sequence after it, and then people are joining the community. So everything's working as expected. So all in all, successful experiment. I discovered a lot despite even being in this world for a long time. It was just kind of one of those things of when I'm doing it for myself and all these tiny little technical details need to get managed, man, it's easy to miss something important and then spiral out for a week of people sending you the same email being like, hey, I bought the thing, I didn't get it, are you taking my money? Oh yeah, I didn't even remember. People are leaving comments on the Facebook ads instead of emailing. They're just like, you didn't send me my stuff, you took my money and didn't give me a PDF. Now in like, I'm not out to scam people. That's not what I want. But in this world, especially of online business, that's the first thing people think is this guy's scamming me, not, boy, he's trying his best and it's just not good enough right now. So make sure that you keep track of your Facebook comments if you're running Facebook ads, because most people will go there instead of contacting you through your website and contact form and all that kind of stuff. So most people, like the ads, it takes about $5 for somebody to buy a $7 ebook. So the ads are self-funding, which is kind of cool. So now I've got a couple hundred more people on the email list who are my ideal kind of person in a self-sustaining kind of way. So that's kind of cool. So if you want to build your email list, you want to build your connections and that kind of thing, consider selling a PDF, a book, or some kind of thing that somebody wouldn't mind spending $7. Just make sure you get it to them. That's been working out. So that's the experiment. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little peek behind the curtain of what I've been doing, which is a little bit different than the here's how to videos I normally make. So yeah, let me know. Have you gone through this? Have you dealt with the headaches of Facebook ads and PDF deliverables and email stuff? Like, sound off in the comments. I want to hear your misery, right? Happiness shared multiplies it. Misery shared divides how awful it is. So tell us your horrible train wrecks and crash and burns so that we could all feel a little bit better about ourselves too. So that's it. YouTube knows you way better than I know you yet, but based on what YouTube understands about you, it thinks that you would love to see this next video, and I'll see you over there.